Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum and Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussing, we drink and we know things.
It is Tuesday, November 14th. We are back after our annual Halloween horror cast. And tonight we will be talking about Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix. We'll also be talking about Gen V on Prime Video and Loki on Disney Plus. Let's start off with and we'll talk about these in our segments. However, this is also going to turn out to be our thankful cast in a way, because Thanksgiving's next week. So,
duh.
So yeah, so there we are. So anyway, Joe, start us off. Horror Corner.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh shit, you watched it.
Yes, I did.
Okay. On the Willy's Wonderland scale, where does this fall?
It falls short, in my opinion.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty tame.
It's pretty tame. The story is more robust than Willy's Wonderland, but Willy's has all of the good kills and all the good gore and better of the psycho animatronics, in my opinion.
Okay.
So what is this movie for the uninitiated?
This is basically dude gets a job in a rundown Chuck E. Cheese, and all the animatronics come to life and wreak havoc. Basically the same plot as Willy's Wonderland.
I was going to say, so you're talking about just a Chuck E. Cheese then, normally.
Yeah.
Okay. This is based off a video game, right?
Yes, it is. Which I have not played the video game. I don't know if
Sounds fun.
have you guys?
No,
I haven't. But I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah. Well, side kittens.
Yeah.
How many side kittens?
Side kittens? 5.
Okay.
5, 6.
All right.
It's got a 9 out of 10 on Steam as far as the game goes. That's interesting. Okay.
Well,
it's fun. It's not as gory, and
yeah.
it kind of just is if you've seen Willy's Wonderland, you're like, I kind of wish I was watching Willy's Wonderland. This is fun,
man.
but
it's almost 10 years old, released in August of 2014.
The
but
video game?
21, yeah,
okay.
2,146 reviews, and it has like a 90 plus, overwhelmingly positive score.
Well, we all know about how video games don't necessarily translate that well to movies or TV.
For sure.
But
yeah, and I don't know the video game, so I don't have any frame of reference. So
I like the first couple of sentences here. Welcome to your new summer job at Freddy's Fazbear's Pizzas, where kids and parents alike come for entertainment and food as far as the eye can see. Oh God. The robot's behavior is somewhat unpredictable at night, however. That's funny.
Yeah.
Can you survive 5 nights at Freddy's? Right on.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And
yeah, what else?
I after the Halloween horror cast, I did a gauntlet of watching the first 3 of Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th.
Oh, nice.
Which was really fun because it's been a while since I've seen a lot of those movies. So
yeah,
it was nice to kind of go through the origins of the Halloween horror. And a lot of them don't hold up.
Oh, yeah.
But Dream Warriors is still the best.
I was going to say, do any of them hold up? Because Dream Warriors was my favorite.
Yeah.
Dream Warriors is still the best, and I'm going to make a lot of enemies saying this, but anybody who says Jason's better than Freddy is
stupid.
Sorely lacking.
Right? Yeah. Have no imagination. That's a nice way to say it, I guess.
And Jason doesn't even show up until like the 3rd movie. So
yeah.
Really? But anyway, that's my horror corner.
So before we
segueing into
before we dig into Usher, Jamie and I watched this movie called Spectral on Netflix. It's an older film. but it still checks out. No, I think it was made in 2016, and decent cast in it, and it was about army soldiers that encounter sort of unexplained spectral phenomenon while trying to clear out a city, and it was actually a really, really good movie. It's got all your good sort of horror turns because you need like special glasses to see the spectral guys, and it takes some really cool turns. So if you guys have some time, check out Spectral on Netflix. I think you'd dig it, for sure. So
Nice.
but yeah, let's talk about Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes. So I just have to say I was not prepared for the amount of Poe that's in this show.
Right.
Like every single thing is a Poe reference.
Yeah.
Did you mean for that to rhyme? Because that was fucking dope.
No, I didn't
talk
so.
about the rough and stuff Afro Puff headset. So you're doing the Lady of Rage with the rhyming too. That was awesome.
But yeah, I like seriously every single thing in this show is a Poe reference.
Yeah.
And even like some that are referenced to his actual life.
Yeah, I mean every episode title is Poe.
Yeah.
Every name, everything. So I'll I sent you guys the article that breaks it down, and I'll link it. And put it in we'll put it in the show notes because it's extreme.
Yeah.
Flanagan did his homework.
I can't wait to see what the script looks like.
Yeah,
for this, because you know how he does that treatment with his scripts where they get professionally bound in like a themed like book that's hand carved and all this shit. Like he goes over the top with that stuff.
Yeah,
I'd love to see what he does with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and thanks to the strike being over, now we're getting all of the behind the scenes goodies.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Molly Kate Quinn, the little redhead who was in it was Fillian's daughter in Castle, and she was in We're the Millers. She was in the other RV with Nick Offerman, and she was the best friend of the usher that started the nightclub, right? The little redhead.
Oh yeah.
So she posted some behind the scenes pictures of them all burnt up from the acid bath.
Oh,
and so one of all of them burned up in their makeup, but then the next one with all of them burned up in their makeup next to Mark Hamill.
What a cool role for Mark Hamill too. Like,
yeah,
it's like the wolf basically,
right?
Pretty much, yeah. His voice was just like, holy crap.
Oh yeah, it was great. No, and he had while the strike was still going on, and I'm gonna mess this up, but he tweeted out, I can't talk. I thank you for all of the kind words around the thing I can't talk about.
Yeah,
for now.
Remember
that. And it was, but yeah, no, I mean, no, that role was like he was, he's perfect. He was great for that part. Dude, Bruce Greenwood, too, man.
Oh man,
like
I can't imagine how that would be if Frank Langella was that role.
Oh yeah,
because he was originally supposed to be Rodger Usher,
right?
And I'm like,
yeah,
Roderick Usher, sorry,
right?
Yeah, like Bruce Greenwood was born for that.
Oh man, he was so good, and I love I get a kick now because it's happening more often than not where you get sort of two sets of actors playing younger and older versions of themselves. This is it's really prevalent in Yellow Jackets, which, god damn it, please guys, if you get a chance to watch Yellow Jackets,
Still haven't watched that.
Yellow Jackets.
Okay, it's on my list.
But you get younger and older versions of the same character, and sometimes there's a disconnect in how they play it or whatnot. But again, with shows like Yellow Jackets, and especially here too, the story of the younger ushers, meeting whoever they meet at the bar, whoever you want to say that is, and then having the older versions of them as well, just really sync up, and you can see sort of those decisions and how they made each other, but to play them sort of so flawlessly off each other, it's cool to watch. It's fun to watch, and you're not taken out of the moment by two different actors essentially playing the same role, which is great.
Yeah, the acting from top to bottom, everyone was fantastic. It wasn't like this was held and like cornerstoned by a few great actors.
Right.
There were like everyone was amazing. There wasn't a dim spot at all. A lot of them were unknown. A lot of people I have never seen before.
Mhm.
A lot of people obviously that Flanagan has pulled in from other things, but damn.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was super impressed.
Yeah.
And the world, the ambiance that they created. I think I texted you, or not texted you. I think I chatted with you guys when I was watching the first episode. Like the rainstorm scenes were just like shaking my living room.
Right.
It was so awesome. Thankfully, my neighbor was gone. I just turned it up.
Yeah.
Like, God, it was so good. But then just the obviously dark and appropriate kind of overtones.
Yeah.
For everything. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Is this Flanagan's masterpiece, or is it still Midnight Mass?
That's tough. I think both of these are kind of in the running for me.
Yeah. It's hard to pick one over the other for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, is Midnight Mass based on something, or is that
I think that's an original story.
That's his own original story.
Yeah.
That might have to give it to Midnight Mass then, just because of that.
Yeah.
But this is a masterpiece on its own merits. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't pick.
Yeah.
If I had to say I had a favorite, like off the top of my head, I would say this one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both, and I love Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
I really love it. But yeah, this one really resonates too.
Yeah, I think if I did a countdown of, and I think I put Midnight Mass, this, Hill House, Bly Manor, and then Midnight Club.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to watch Midnight Mass again to try and do that. Those are the only two that I've seen, though. I need to get the other ones.
Oh man, Hill House and Bly Manor are fantastic.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And Midnight Club too.
Midnight Club was great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this on our chat. What should I watch next and why?
Hill House
out
first.
of those.
Yeah.
So you've seen, you've watched Midnight Mass. So definitely do. I would just go in order of the stuff that you haven't seen. I would go Hill House, Bly Manor, and then Midnight Club if you didn't watch Midnight Club.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you're gonna do movies, then definitely Oculus, Doctor Sleep, and Gerald's Game.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything more we should say on Usher aside from you haven't seen it?
I mean,
we're not really everything.
We didn't really get into it, but I don't really want to spoil it.
Yeah.
I mean, acting is exquisite.
Yeah.
The world's amazing. The deaths are fantastic.
Yeah.
The whole narration back and forth.
Yeah. There is some pet gore.
Yeah.
Warning.
Warning.
Right. Yeah.
Pet gore.
Pet gore.
There's also a marble sighting.
That was really hard for me. I was like, "Oh, you're my favorite, but you're hurting one of my favorite animals."
Fucking Pluto.
I know. Well, that was the last. That was the last episode.
But it was fake.
Yeah, it was all fake. Yeah. But that was the last episode we watched before going to bed, and my black cat normally curls up next to me during the night.
Pluto. Yeah. Oh my god.
So, but yeah.
Well, I love that Thor's hammer is in it. That's great. Yeah. Okay. And moving on. Yeah, watch it. It's fantastic. It's really even if you aren't a fan of horror, you'll love this because it's not really. I mean, I wouldn't even put this in horror, honestly. Like it's horror adjacent to me. It's more of like an amazing amazingly written kind of suspense drama with some spattered gore.
Right. Yeah.
Pardon the pun. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right. So let's move on to the R&R watch list. And it's short and sweet, but first and foremost, Jamie and I watched the Daryl Dixon Walking Dead spinoff.
Oh, geez. So he survives, huh? Spoiler.
Hey, yeah. And makes his way to Paris.
What?
Yeah, right.
You're kidding, right?
No, swear. The show.
How the fuck does he get to Paris?
They explain it.
Never mind.
Explain it.
Okay. Good God.
This is actually really good. This is actually a really good little miniseries on sort of Daryl and who he is, and it's essentially a Messiah story in a way, which is obviously in the apocalypse you kind of look for any sort of light at the end of the tunnel that you can find, and they the whole sort of plot of this one is that there's there's a kid who survived sort of a almost very Ellie Last of Us sort of thing, where she survives a birth while someone is turning into a zombie, and so they peg this kid as the sort of the savior of and want to sort of keep him. Yeah, it's
they went there.
They
really?
did.
Like,
Yeah, they did.
Literally the story of Last of Us. Okay.
Yeah. So but in a much different manner, because he was born in a convent. This all happens in the first episode, by the way. So he's born in a convent and raised by nuns, and essentially built up to be the Messiah of, thinking that he's sort of the cure, and he needs to sort of get out there and be shown to the world. Anyway, everything around this I thought was really good and done really well, and sort of Daryl being there kind of makes it really good. So anyway, if you get a chance, if you have nothing else to watch and you got a few hours to spare, take in Daryl Dixon. It's pretty good. The next thing on the list, and we can go ahead, Joe. You're muted.
Muted.
Oh, damn it. Sorry.
There she is.
As somebody who watched or quit watching The Walking Dead right when Negan showed up,
yeah,
am I going to be completely lost, or can I jump into this?
So
you quit when Negan showed up?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I saw like the first 4 episodes of Negan and then was like, I'm done.
So these stories don't necessarily reference anything that happened. Just that I mean, obviously there's been some character development since the Negan, right?
Okay.
Show,
like Judith is old, I guess.
Right. Yeah, but
older.
like the Walking Dead, which has ended, and Fear the Walking Dead, which is ending. I think it's ending or has ended. Really continue that sort of main storyline, right? And but these are, I mean, almost written like fan fiction in a way, but it's good in the world of The Walking Dead, right? So it was Dead City, which was Negan and Maggie, right, in New York, and then now this one, Daryl, which was in Paris. So, like I said, yeah, they're written in a way like fan fiction, where you basically just need to know their origins and not necessarily what.
How does he get to Paris?
Oh, all right. Well,
sorry. No, how does he get to fucking Paris?
Okay,
I thought the world has ended.
Right. Well, so he ends
by boat, obviously.
So
he's in Paris, Texas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Las Vegas at the resort.
Yeah.
Paris, Texas. That'd be a great twist.
So he gets knocked out by some guys and gets put on a boat, a tanker boat with. They're basically going to be fed to some guys were going to be like, you put them up against a couple zombies, and if they win, then they're sort of become part of the crew, and if they don't, then they just feed the zombies, and these guys on the boat are basically dicks, right? Well,
yeah.
So obviously Daryl takes care of the zombies, as he does, and then tries to escape off of the boat, ends up getting a life craft in the water, but then gets sort of knocked in the head, falls miraculously on the boat, and like makes his way to France.
That old chestnut. I mean, if you're gonna believe that there are zombies,
I mean, it was a good sequence in the show. It was, and you kind of believe it in a way. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily question it as I was watching it.
Suspension of disbelief.
But then I'm a very simple man. Anyway, I liked it. But the other, and I know Invincible's come back too on Amazon Prime. I haven't started watching that yet.
Yes.
But I have played Omni-Man in MK1, and holy crap.
Dude, he looks so overpowered from the powers video that I watched. Holy crap.
I haven't run through a tower so fast than I did as Omni-Man.
Oh,
and
really?
his fatality is straight out of the cartoon, which is the train going through, and they I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they have animated the look of horror on people's faces as the skin is coming off of the people on like so as the skin is coming off of the person that you're fatalitying on the train, people are coming by at a fast speed like
one of
the better fatalities that Mortal Kombat has done. Oh man, you get more experience for using a brutality than you do a fatality, but I did his fatality every time just because it was done so well and so good. Anyway, but yeah, on that note, the next big thing that we finished was Gen V, the Boys spinoff. This is so much better than I thought it was. I thought it was originally going to be.
Right.
Yeah, if you wanted an R-rated X-Men.
Right. No, exactly.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the whole.
I love Emma.
Right.
Emma's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Yeah. No, this is great. All of the actors they got to play the kids, the main cast, I thought was really, really good. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think I really didn't think I was going to enjoy this as much as I did, but again, I really got into the school as a front storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really loved that part, and just yeah, I mean, a very, very boys-esque storyline, and it tied to the main show very, very well. I mean, it was really fucking good TV, man.
Yeah.
I liked how they made it their own,
yeah,
but tied it just enough to the boys, but still kept their own like show and their own kind of world a little bit.
Yeah. Nate, what do you think?
And there was still like all kinds of blood and penises,
right?
Which was awesome.
I was gonna say, yeah, Evan Goldberg loves his penises because, good God,
yeah,
they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, even just with the name of the university, it's Godolkin University School of Crime Fighting or whatever, but then they just call it God U for short, which is hilarious. The fact that they're using this place to basically screen kids. You think it's to screen kids for the 7, but it's really to experiment on them and use them to enhance other soups, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I loved a bunch of the new powers. I love what they did with like the inclusivity of it. There's a soup that's can be a guy and a girl. Switches back and forth and has different powers. And and it's the blood. What do they call it? What kinesis would that be? I
With
forget.
blood control.
Yeah, blood control is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was trying to think of the actual. What do they usually call that? Hemiocraft or something like that. Hemocraft. Was really cool. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of evolve that, considering she's, spoiler alert, not dead at the end.
You're right.
I do like all of the main soups. What was the one that you were talking about, Joe?
Emma,
Emma,
Yeah.
yeah, that she gets
the
bigger or
shrinky.
smaller or whatever. Yeah. I feel bad for her because of the way people took advantage of her, for sure. Thankfully, she's kind of coming into her own.
Yeah.
And I guess she can actually starting to learn how to control her powers instead of having to purge every time she wants to shrink.
Yeah.
I did love the scene where she ate a bunch and grew and pinned the strong man to the ground. It's like, oh, let her be big girl. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, suffocate me. Okay.
Well, and I love the after scene where you I forget what her actual line was, but or like don't walk that way because that's where I had to throw up, something like that.
Right. Yeah, very cool stuff.
Yeah.
And just the way that they took, I mean, I didn't go to college, but having enough college type experiences on college campuses, I loved how they kind of put the superhero twist on those.
Yeah.
Like when after she got big, she was floating in the pool with the pool cover as a blanket, like that kind of stuff, the walk of shame type stuff. I did love how
the ice hallway.
Oh yeah,
right.
The little brother and his sort of indoctrination to college life, I thought was great.
Yeah, I mean, he knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Stay here,
Right.
and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. There was several storylines running through it. I did like how they linked it back directly to the boys with the vice presidential candidate, Victoria Newman.
Yeah.
Right? And then Homelander comes in towards the end, and it'll be really interesting to see how this builds into the next, because it's really kind of like the boys 3.5.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's not really anything new other than the powers and the people. It's just another facet of the whole universe, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But the best part was Soldier Boy came in.
Oh man, that was great.
With some of the
diddling the skittle,
best worst lines ever.
Well, especially after you guys grew up on him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's not just talking about the character in the show, Joe. It's more of his fan base.
Now, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about the ladies in general. Tend to find him very attractive.
Yes.
That's funny. I know Sarah is a fellow. What do you call yourself? A supernatural enthusiast or obsessed? Supranaturalists?
Yeah.
She's also watched it several times. But she's definitely not ready for this. So I don't know if we could get her on this show, but that'd be hilarious.
That's just it. There's something about seeing Jensen say those words. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
It's her soldier boyfriend. That's so funny.
Dean wouldn't say that, but maybe he might.
Right. That's hilarious. Yeah, just overall amazing stuff. What about you, Andy?
I loved it. This was, as soon as it was out, we'd watch it. We didn't wait to watch this thing. That's how good it was for us. It's man. Yeah, no, again, I just love all the characters. Yeah, definitely Emma, one of our favorites. I didn't realize how central Golden Boy's girlfriend was going to be to the whole thing. Like, right. I was pleasant.
It was a good redirect.
Like pleasantly surprised at how powerful she was, and she was like the way that they were able to handle all of this, right? Mm-hmm. And I love how they overdid her when she overdid her powers.
With the bleeding eyes and
how they would
everything,
make
yeah.
her look and all that. And I thought that was just, I thought that was done super well. So,
Yeah, I keep coming back to it's really like a really fucking twisted X-Men
right.
like arc, you know?
No, for sure. Yeah.
Because she's definitely the Jean Grey type in that one.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the journey of how it started. They were all sort of in their own little like cliques and groups and not necessarily together, but obviously over time, banded together as this group against everything. And I just thought that it came together really well and was
Hemokinesis.
Oh, there you
fucking
go.
Found it. Sorry.
There you go.
It's in the first fucking episode.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And yeah, even just Marie Moreau, that whole scene of her getting her powers and realizing her powers.
Oh God. During her first period.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Man.
that was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to say that was rough?
Hey, I'm allowed to say that was rough, okay? I'm not like discounting anything else.
Right.
Obviously, I know nothing about.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So anyway,
Ouch.
yeah, if however this ties into Boys, was it season 4 now? Yeah, and then if they decide to sort of piggyback sort of back and forth of intertwining the story even more, now that we
sounds like that's what they're gonna do.
Now that we got the soldier boy, the vice president, the even fucking Homelander coming in at the end.
Well, yeah, and you had the butcher exploring the ruins at the end.
Exactly, right.
The mid-credit scene at the end.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, it might just pick up directly from there.
Yeah, so
you never know.
No, man, again, this again, I didn't know how I was gonna like it, but it fit almost perfectly as a keeping me salivating for more Boys universe stuff. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
That's good stuff.
What else? What else is on the watch list? I think that's pretty much it that we've been.
I mean, we could tease the Blue-Eyed Samurai that I watched and got you guys addicted to. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, please watch it so they get another season.
Yeah, for sure.
Created by the writer of Logan and Blade Runner 2049, I think.
Oh yeah.
Awesome stuff. There's some behind the scenes for that. That's available actually about the fighting and the choreography that you guys should check out. It's really fucking cool the way they did it.
Yeah.
Because they basically did all the stunt choreography like it was a motion picture. So they actually physically did the stunt choreography and then animated that.
Yeah, I figured. But there's some that like there's one battle scene in particular that just gave me vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh yeah.
Whoa, how the hell did they do that?
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah. It's the ability for them to capture the choreographed fight scenes and then animate over it, basically, like do the wireframe animation and then pull that into production is it's really smart. So,
but a really great voice cast too. Kenneth Branagh, George Takei, Randall Park, Masaoka, and then Kari Hiroki Tajikawa. Like anytime I hear his voice, it's always Shang Tsung, but I just just a really great. I had no idea that was Masaoka as Ringo. I thought he was Hero from the Heroes. Yeah. And just I love that character too. I think Ringo's such a great character.
Yeah, he's the best.
But yeah, man. No, that was a great pick, Nate. That was really good. I didn't
for sure.
For sure.
I don't think I would have picked that up without a recommendation.
No.
Yeah, it was a random, like new in 4K on Netflix or whatever. And I went, okay, let's check this out. Because I love, like, have you guys ever seen Afro Samurai?
No, I had the DVDs. I've never watched them.
Holy fuck. It's so goddamn good. You have to watch it. So basically, it's like this, but think about this show as far as the aesthetic and like the combat, but more anime and with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's fucking fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, so I love that kind of thing, and so I was all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, with that, Nate, I think we can go into the Marvel Minute.
Yeah, we might as well start with the dovetail that is Loki season 2, and real strong for Marvel, thankfully.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to get into the show. I love Loki, and I fell asleep twice watching episode 1, and I don't know why. I think I was just really tired.
Maybe.
But the work they did to develop the characters in this season was just fantastic. And talk about sticking a landing. I don't think I've seen a Marvel show ever hit a landing like this. But I don't really want to go into too much detail without hearing what you guys think first. So I'll hand it off back to you guys real quick. Since I know everyone did their homework and watched all of it. Joe.
Yes, I did.
Joe, you foist.
It's your guy though. Come on.
Yeah, it's my guy. And I'm kind of sad because the ending seems like an ending for my guy. I want more Loki, but I don't think I'm going to get more Loki.
Yeah, he alluded to as much on was it Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of the two.
Yeah,
where he was talking about how it's kind of a great ending to 12 years of his life or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
and which it absolutely is.
Yeah.
So,
he's supposed to be in some other things coming up, though, I think. So maybe.
But for me, Short Round stole this for me.
Dude, so good.
So good.
Just every scene.
So good.
Yeah. Made me smile every time.
Please give him his own show. Even like if it's not Marvel adjacent, just give the actor his own show of like a science fiction kind of thing and let him run. Because holy crap.
And that's what
I want to see the adventures of Short Round in the indie universe. Like that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying.
But no, I guess there was some interview with Ki Hung Kwan, and they said that one of the first phone calls he got after Everything Everywhere All at Once was from Kevin Feige saying, "We need you in Marvel," and basically it's like, well, what are you shooting next? Just tell me where to be, and and so and it was OB, which. I mean, it couldn't have been a more perfect role for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's so fun. And it was nice, like, because, I mean, the show there's, like, a lot to wrap your mind around with the show. And, like, he was a good little, like, segue of just, like, oh, hey, let's just have some fun and, watch, funness and not have to try to think about what the show's trying to tell you and, like, I have to watch it again because I'm like,
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'm not that smart. And like,
I mean, he's playing a theoretical physicist, like a professor,
right.
I think, right in the Before Times.
Yeah. Well, and when
they do the flashback to 1994 Pasadena,
right? Yeah. And I still have no idea who wrote the handbook. Like I know OB wrote the handbook, but OB wrote the handbook.
They both wrote the
from
handbook.
Victor Timely's, but Victor Timely got it the handbook from
Schrodinger's handbook, I guess.
He got it. And it was just like
that's where my brain just like melted.
Yeah, it's a chicken egg situation,
completely,
but Loki becoming the god of stories at the end, apparently. So that's like he putting the right book in the right place,
right,
kind of thing. So
yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah. No, Joe, what else you got?
That's kind of about it.
Okay.
And like somebody shut down Miss Minutes because holy shit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, AI is bad. Can we stop AI?
Yeah, she was going full Hitler.
Yeah.
Towards the end, like, okay, let's get her out of here before she starts, I did like how the 8-bit version.
I know
yeah.
They
that was
rebooted
great.
towards the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Oh, and the 1890 version.
Yeah, the black and
God, that
white.
was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
you're a
when she
little
went,
obvious. And she's like, is this
yeah,
better?
that was amazing. And then when she got big and stomped around like monster movie
Yeah.
style, yeah.
I am the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, jumping around here to the different times, I loved. I thought the production around the different time frames I thought was done really well, especially Victor Timely's introduction. That whole episode I thought was fantastic. And yeah, even just the explainer with Victor Timely and Renslayer and Miss Minutes in that little warehouse where, why didn't you ever make me a body? And she pops her face on the mannequin. I thought was really
Yeah.
great. And and then yeah, towards the end, I love that this came back to a very a very Back to the Future-esque, what what do I need to stop? What element from the past do I need to fix in order to fix everything moving forward, right?
Oh, it was like Groundhog
Mhm.
Day
Well, yeah,
too.
and no,
Like,
yeah,
he's
that
hundreds of years later. What do I need?
right.
How long would it take me to learn everything you know about theoretical physics?
Yeah, but you get and especially the last two episodes of him trying to get Victor Timely out on the out on the thing earlier, and him getting closer and closer, and then finally doing it, and then not getting it, and then like I'm a sucker for those stories of sort of being able to redo your mistakes, basically getting your Omega 13, pushing that button and getting your 13-second jump to the
Right.
past,
Yeah.
and redoing it, and then realizing that that's not the spot, and that you even need to go back further, right? And
Talk about some really technical, chunky dialogue that he had to run through
oh yeah,
towards the end, like when
Right.
he's cutting to the chase.
Yeah.
Like, oh God. Okay.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
Right.
Again.
Yeah. And yeah, like it was funny, like even going back further in season two, and then even going back to season one,
The very beginning, yeah, exactly.
and then not only going back to like the end of season one, but the beginning of season one. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought that was a real, I if this is truly an ending for Loki, which it does seem like it is, I think it was a very, very good, a very good way to, hit all the beats of the character for sure. To care so much about making sure the timeline is intact to where he actually ends up sitting on that throne with all the threads, just like, and that look on his face as sort of the camera pans out. But I just, I mean, I haven't liked a Marvel project, in the last few years as much as I liked this one. And to your point, Nate, yeah, it took me a while to see where they were going with it. I was like, yeah, this is okay. This is all right. Yeah, the key lime pie is funny. Okay, great. Where are they going with this? What's happening with this? But then when it became, when it finally came clear of, oh yeah, we're gonna hold the timeline down. Like that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
And just where Loki ends up at the end, like that was a cool fucking ending.
Yeah.
He gets his throne,
Yeah.
but he also gets his redemption.
And I don't know. It's been a while that we've had a conclusion to a story that was so fitting for a character than this, right? Like Iron Man's sacrifice in Endgame, right?
Yep.
Was a very, very fitting, not since then. This has been the most satisfying sort of resolution to a character that we've gotten, I think.
Yeah. No, that's a good call.
Yeah. So.
And we also got jet ski Mobius, which was nice.
Right.
Yes, which everyone was yelling about. If we don't get Mobius on a fucking jet ski, and then he's on a jet ski, like even though it's a demo in the shop that he owns.
Yeah, I dug. I did like seeing the people in their times, all of the TVA folks in their times, and I love that Eugene
Variants in
Cordero
the
was
wild.
Frank Morris escaping from Alcatraz.
Right.
I know, isn't that great? Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Very well done.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, everything you guys said, I loved it. Kiwi Kwan completely stole every scene he was in. Give that man everything. I did like the way that Loki basically technically recruited all of those people into the TVA in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then brought that, like, there's another mind bender for you.
Yeah.
Like, would they have been there if he hadn't have done that? And yeah, so Ouroboros is the one that wrote the book, but based on the work of Victor Timely,
Right.
but based on the book of Ouroboros.
Right.
But the only reason he gets that is because Loki gives it to him in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then he invents the first temp pad from it. So yeah, I was doing a little bit of research because apparently he's a god of stories Loki now, that he has pulled all of those dying branches and reinvigorated them and then twisted them into like a world tree situation.
Mhm.
Like Yggdrasil
Right.
analog, which I thought was really cool. And then he's got his golden throne, which is, like you mentioned, a huge payoff for that character.
Yeah.
It's what he wanted in the very first Thor movie, what he felt he was owed. And then just to see that shift from in the first Avengers movie, where he's basically trying to take over Earth, to now he's going to basically look out for all of the realms in infinity kind of situation, and take that on is a huge growth for that character.
Yeah.
I did like a lot of the little kind of nods that they did, where he's, walking through thin air into the place where He Who Remains fortress used to be, and that's all blasted to hell.
Yeah.
And then there's a mention of the TVA is at the end is tracking He Who Remains and the variants across the growing branches. Mobius reports that one variant was stopped at Earth 616's adjacent realm.
Right.
So that's a reference to the Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
Where they were able to deal with that one, apparently. B-15 becomes one of the leaders towards the end. And then Ouroboros reactivates a friendly Miss Minutes towards the end, and then writes a new handbook and co-authors it with Timely, which I thought was really cool. Then it flashes back to Timely back in 1863, doesn't get the book, just pouring candles.
Yep.
So, all right, cool. And then you got Renslayer wakes up in the void and encounters the purple light of what you would expect to be the crazy big void monster.
Yeah.
I did like how they saved a lot of money by not cutting to the thing they would have to animate
Right.
in that last episode. They did it a lot, where it's like, oh, it's a flash of green light, so that must have been Loki. It's a flash of purple light, it must have been Alioth,
Yeah.
or whatever that giant void creature is. Yeah, really great overall. Special effects were great. I love that they coined the term spaghettify for the way that the radiation
Right.
like blasted apart people.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And then just the pseudo technical explanation of how we need to increase the throughput of the temporal loom
Right.
through the throughput via the throughput multiplier, and just going off with all that. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Apparently, something that I read, the 90s version, Dr. A.D. Doug is apparently supposed to be a nod to Hitchhiker's Guide and the author from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Douglas
really Adams.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, Doug Adams, yeah. And there's a couple references to the magic number, I guess, in a few of these episodes. So, yeah, so overall, I loved it. Obviously, I like most of Marvel stuff, if not all.
But this one was definitely a light in the recent. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's a bright, shiny green light,
Yes.
as it were.
Yeah.
Green means go. So moving on
Indeed.
from that, real quick, going to touch on the movie that just came out, The Marvels. Excuse me, was getting not critically panned, was getting trolled to death,
Yeah.
as all of these movies and series with leading women are, because we can't have nice things for some
Right.
reason. Fucking people.
I know.
The movie was too woke. Shut the fuck up. It's not for you. Okay, go away. Jesus Christ.
Thought it was the MCU, not the MCU. Like, come on,
Oh
people.
my god. I go just. Oh my god. Go. You know what channel you always watch? Go watch that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, some really cool information. I went and saw this with Addie and Annie. So it's definitely so first movie was definitely kind of like a supposedly a little bit of, well, it was an origin story, but it's definitely like a girl power, very like kind of groundbreaking, made $1 billion worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Hugely influential movie on a lot of people. And the sequel, it's literally a direct sequel. It references the first movie like crazy, so you definitely should be watching that. The Kamala Khan show, it's heavily references that.
Mm-hmm.
That actress, by the way, complete standout.
Yeah.
Just fantastic, and I'm smiling the whole time she's on screen. I think in general, I don't want to spoil anything because there's a lot of stuff in this movie that can be spoiled. It needed to be a little bit longer. It was only an hour 45. And there was some very odd kind of editing choices where like the movie picks up and immediately there's the big bad and immediately shit's going down.
Yeah.
And you have no idea who the fuck this person is and why things are happening. But they explain it at like the beginning of Act 2 almost.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very out of place. Like they should have opened with that explainer and it would have made so much sense. Because the last time we see Captain Marvel in the MCU, she's basically saying that she's going to go, well, I guess after the, I'm trying to think when that was. She basically says that she's going to go burn the Skrull Empire down after the movie, after Captain Marvel.
But then
she's going to set things right.
Flick into Miss Marvel's bedroom at the end of Miss Marvel, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So it really would have made more sense to set up who the villain was, which seems like, movie making 101. But
yeah,
look at me, I'm not making movies. But that was the only thing. I think that, and there was one other part of the movie that was a little ham-fisted, but the rest of it was super fun and like just smiling the whole time. The soundtrack was awesome. There's literally like a Disney princess song number that you did not expect to happen, but it was like, oh my God, they're fucking doing this. And it's hilarious. Understanding especially that Brie Larson is a recording star in other countries. And that's kind of what she was before she was ever an actress, was a pop star and a singer. So
reference her work in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Right?
It's really fun. We had a really good time. And Annie actually saw it the next day with her boys and they all loved it too.
Nice.
It's a fun Marvel movie. It's actually did over $100 million in the first weekend, which obviously is, disappointing for Marvel because it cost them over $200 million to make, because that's how much animation costs. But it's also the worldwide best opening weekend for a movie by a Black female director. And I didn't realize that the lady who directed this is 34 and is the youngest director ever for a Marvel film and the first African-American woman director for a Marvel film, which is pretty fucking epic. But that means she's 34 now.
Yeah.
Which means she got this movie when she was 31. They gave her this movie to direct. Just like fucking good God. She did the remake of Candyman before this.
Oh, no way.
Oh.
And then a couple other things.
Okay.
So Nia DaCosta is her name. So she's got some pretty cool credits.
Candyman remake was solid.
That's what I heard. Yeah. So the movie's super fun. It's definitely like not breaking new ground visually. It's fucking awesome because it's actually, a lot of the scenes are in IMAX.
Okay.
So if you have a chance to see it in IMAX, you actually get the format, like the full screen treatment. And the space looks amazing, the different planets look awesome, the power sets are cool. The way that their powers get entangled is really cool as well. Basically they're swapping spots. They explain why they're swapping is because their powers get entangled because they're all light based to a certain degree, and if they use the same power at the same time, then blip. And then of course there's a training montage where they're trying to figure out the timing. So they've got the whole montage music going on, like on purpose, which is hilarious. It just needed to be, like You're the Best Around, which would have been perfect. But yeah, the soundtrack's a banger. The acting is really good. There's a couple, like I said, there's a couple moments that seem really forced, but other than that, fun, really fun movie. Exactly what you'd get from the advertising, which I guess they haven't been doing a whole lot of. But yeah, overall, really fun. Go see it if you can. See it in IMAX if you can, because it's worth it for the space scenes alone. And the battles are really well done too. The fight choreography is pretty epic. Apparently the director based a lot of it off of anime fights. So there's a reason why it gets really cool. Nice. And there's also probably the most epic post-credit scene that Marvel has had in I don't know, a really long time. Well, maybe ever.
Prior to this, what was the last truly epic post-credit scene?
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of them are like, oh shit, there's Thanos. Okay, that's a pretty big one. There's a lot of stuff setting up the different time stone or the different Infinity Stones, and then Infinity War, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of them are really kind of just stay in their own lane,
right,
in their own movie. But this one is fucking fantastic. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but can I? Are you guys gonna see? Is this gonna get spoiled?
You could totally spoil it for me.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Annie, are you okay?
Yeah,
okay. So, spoiler alert, people. This will spoil the end credit scene, the post credit scene from the Marvels. So Monica, not Monica. What's her name?
Yeah, Monica Rambeau, right?
Is it Maria?
Or is Monica the mom?
No, Monica's the mom. Movie. Maria Rambeau. Yeah.
Okay.
So Maria Rambeau at the end of the movie basically has to absorb a bunch of power and basically help repair this rip in space-time. Ostensibly so the time traveling, or not the time traveling, the space gates that you see in Guardians of the Galaxy, they transport themselves from different places.
Little jump,
fly through the gate. The
points.
Jump points, right?
Yeah.
That whole network there's like a whole existing network apparently that they've been mapping out since then. And the big bad is fucking that up and kind of making her own shit. And towards the end, basically goes crazy big and tears a hole. And so Maria Rambeau has to use her powers to help kind of stabilize and repair the hole. But of course, she can only do it from the other side. So there's a giant explosion at the end. She wakes up in a hospital bed in a very like sterile white and silver environment. And you hear Kelsey Grammer speaking. You're like, what the fuck? And it's Beast walking around the other side of the operating table.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
And it's not like Kelsey Grammer in a suit. It's a fully animated, very well animated Beast from X-Men 97. And from that universe. So the Fox Beast basically walks around the side and is talking to her. You see Monica Rambeau, who plays her mother, sitting there like waiting for her to wake up, and she kind of freaks out. Monica is the character in this movie. Maria is her mother.
Okay.
Jesus. Brains. Apparently in this alternate Fox X-Men universe, her mom becomes Captain Marvel in that universe. So she's got like her super suit on and that kind of thing. But they don't know each other, and she's freaking out. She's like, "Oh my God, Mom, you're alive." And then Beast walks around the table and everyone's just like, holy shit. And then it pans out and you see the doors from the X-Men movies with the big silver X across it and all that, and the eye in the middle. So yeah, full on X-Men. They're bringing it in the post-credit scene. That's why I was saying it was like, that's pretty fucking significant.
Who was
actually
who was Captain Marvel in the Doctor Strange movie?
same person.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. So it is
Same person.
Right.
It's not that
right. It's not that
universe. Yeah, it's the Fox universe
variant. If you want to,
yeah, not that variant.
If we want to
exactly.
stay on point, here, huh?
They're all coming together.
Ding, ding.
See, they timed it on purpose. They did apparently. Anyway, yeah. So it was a huge, like, holy shit, they fucking did it. Addie and I were like grabbing each other's arm on the thing, like, oh
yeah,
look at it, no, oh my god. So we had a fun freak out, and yeah, it was a good time. So apparently we're getting the X-Men sooner than later. And then kind of I should have said this earlier, Loki related, apparently we might be getting Doctor Doom sooner than later, because they might have to be replacing Kang the Conqueror with given Jonathan Majors and his legal stuff, right? And so they might be ramping up Doctor Doom as a big bad replacement sooner than later, because they need somebody on that level.
Yeah.
So excuse me, that's a rumor. I want Henry Cavill for Doctor Doom, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
He's too busy being Highlander.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Let's see, what else do we have here? So moving on, Marvel's great, go see it. Lego unveils record-breaking MCU set with 5,000 pieces and 22 characters. They did the whole Avengers Tower, and it's literally like a gigantic, like 4-foot tower with the removable glass windows, and there's literally 22 Lego pieces in there.
Oh, wow.
Nuts.
For $800.
Right.
It's $500.
Oh,
yeah. Which piece to dollar ratio is not as bad as I have heard, because like the Millennium Falcon is way more. But yeah, ridiculous. That's why the terrorists hate us.
Yeah.
Do we lose Joseph? Oh, she's sneezing.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that looks really cool. Check
Yeah.
it out. Put it on, circle it on your Toys R Us catalog for Christmas. Too bad that's not a thing. Let's see. So Deadpool 3, people are going a little, not crazy. Let's not exaggerate. There's a bunch of superheroes that are confirmed so far. So Deadpool, obviously, Wolverine, obviously. Negasonic Teenage Warhead, confirmed, obviously. Colossus, also confirmed. Elektra, confirmed. Jennifer Garner is going to be in this movie,
Nice.
which will be really interesting when Ben Affleck shows up in this movie, because apparently he's supposed to be in it in some capacity as well.
Yeah.
As Daredevil, potentially. So we'll see how that goes down. And then Dogpool, which I thought was amazing,
Right.
because it's like the ugliest dog ever. It's one of those like ugliest dogs that always win the competition.
Oh,
in
yeah.
a Deadpool outfit. I just sent you guys a picture. Can we please put this in the show notes?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, fun stuff. Let's see. What was the other? Where did that come from? So that wasn't the post-credit scene, but that was at the end of the movie. Shit, I'm all over the place here, guys. Sorry. They confirmed the Young Avengers basically at the end of the Marvels as well. Miss Marvel goes around and is like, you see a door open up, and it's Haley Steinfeld as, what is her character from the Hawkeye show? I can't remember what it's called. Where's the cast? They're not going to show her. Okay. Anyway, Haley Steinfeld from the Hawkeye show, whatever the fuck the name of her character is, shows up at the end, and basically they're going to, Miss Marvel and Ant-Man, they reference Ant-Man's daughter and Haley Steinfeld together. So apparently they're going to try to start up the Young Avengers, which I thought was cool. They're actually putting that team together. She literally sits in the dark like she's Nick Fury with a hat on. This is Miss Marvel, and is like, I'm putting a team together. Well, actually, it's just me. Do you want to join? Like, we've got snacks, kind of thing, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5. I know it's not MCU related. Was fantastic. One of the better superhero video games ever made. It's up for best video game at the Game Awards, I think. But will lose to Baldur's Gate 3, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
That game should sweep everything. Like it did at the Joystick Awards, where it won basically every major category, it was hilarious that Microsoft carved out its own like best Xbox game, and of course, Starfield won that,
Oh yeah.
which was hilarious. What else we got here? Some interesting rating news that came out. So Blade has basically been completely rebooted at this point. They're having more issues, and I don't know why Mahershala Ali is still there, but he's still there. Hopefully hopefully we see it at some point and it's good. But it's going to be rated R now.
Just de-age
instead
Wesley
of,
Snipes.
yeah, right. Well, it's going to be rated R now instead of PG-13.
Yeah.
So that'll help it get over the edge.
Don't remake it. Just play the 1998 one in theaters again.
Yeah.
And let us
Right.
That's all you need.
enjoy.
Right. That's like, well, they're not remaking it. It's as far as I know, it's going to be a continuation. So we'll see how that goes. That would be really great, actually. And then lastly, so the Echo series was supposed to come out at the end of the year, got pushed to January, but that's going to be mature rated,
right?
And that's one of the bads from the Hawkeye show as well, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And so it's basically her story as it arcs into Daredevil, because Kingpin is the major bad in that also. But it's supposed to be mature rated, and if you guys haven't seen the trailer, take a minute and watch it.
Yeah,
it looks fucking fantastic. Yeah. It's like a mob movie series basically in the Marvel universe. So that's what I got.
Nice. Any final thoughts? No?
Fucking Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov. All right. Well, what did you guys think of the fall of the House of Usher, Generation V, and Loki? Let us know in the comments. You can find us on Facebook at the Rum and Regret Podcast, on Twitter at rum_regret. Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee on the socials, or at joechickadee.com.
Nate, where can they find you?
Yeah, Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all these socials and your gaming platforms of choice.
You can find me at Crazy Drake on Facebook, Andrew Drake on Twitter, and until the next time, we have spoken.
It's effing lemon.
My mother's right behind you.
Should I call it a cuddle puddle?